Okay, this project is about composition in an unusual shape. Most of the shapes that we work with are going to be either landscape or they're going to be portrait. And we're used to working with shapes that are longer in one direction than the other. This one is going to be on a soft cut, and it's going to be 6 by 6, which is an interesting composition problem, because not everything fits into that square format. So we're going to talk about that. Okay, this is a print by Pippa Townsend, and she chose to cut off the corners, but it's still, basically a square format. But she put basically, a design of mountains with the sun in there. Quite nice. Okay, this is Laura Masuga. The Masugas were really excited about sea life after a trip down to Mexico. And so this was her eagle stingray. And it fits quite well into this square format. This is Sam Masuga. Now she did the head of her lion, and it worked very well within the square format. Frances Carlyle is from Alaska, and so a lot of her prints were influenced by native culture or native animals and things. And so this was a Northwest native design that she put on, and it fit very, very nicely within the square format. Now, Heidi Hawthorne found a photo of her father when he was just a young boy, and she was able to rework it and put this in it, and it was her Father's Day print. A very nice piece. Okay, this piece is by Lilly Mckay, and it's called Starry Night. And if you've ever seen a time-lapse photograph taken of the sky, where they keep the shutter open for a long time, well, as the Earth rotates and everything else, this is the pattern that you get. And everything rotates, I think, around Polaris. And so, very nice take on a starry night. Now, one of the things that I want to just throw out for you is when you're working with block prints, quite often you'll have a little piece of linoleum that's stuck to the surface, and you'll see that quite often on mounted mounted blocks, and in the shipping and in the, pressing it onto the plywood and everything, it becomes embedded into the linoleum. And if you can pop it out sometimes, but if you don't, quite often it leaves a dark spot with a light spot around it. And it's more common that happens while you're working on the piece. Here's a little chunk of debris right there. If that was left there and you rolled your ink over it, when you print, there'd be a dark spot, then a light spot around it. And that happens often because a piece that you've cut out, it sticks to the block and you don't realize it until after you ink. And so there's one little spot right here that happened. And so there's a dark spot in the middle and then a light halo around it. Now, in this piece, it actually doesn't bother because it's all about a starry night. So it works out pretty well, but sometimes that can be an annoyance. So you want to make sure that you clean off your plates before you ink them. Check them for anything that's sticking up that may cause a problem. Some final thoughts about this project. This one is about design. How do you get something into a square format? We're so used to working with things that are landscape or portrait, where they're larger, going one direction than the other, that it becomes a challenge when you start working with something that's a little different. This one's about a square format. A little bit later, we're going to have one that will be 3 by 12, so it'll either be a horizontal or a vertical format. And you have to work out the design on that. Now, another thought is about paper. What size paper are we supposed to use? The paper should be at least 1.5 inches around all the sides. And so if you have a 6x6 block, I've given you paper that's at least 9x9, maybe 9x10. The concept is that we need to have extra paper because when we mount it, we frame it within a mat. Now this is a mat. We cut out the area, and we have to have enough room for the print to sit behind it. And then after that, we put it into a frame with glass on top of it. If you print clear out to the edge, that's not going to work because now you don't have enough room to have a mat around it. So think about those things. Come up with a good design that fits in a square format and have fun.